Today at Free Field Training, we're going to teach you how to be a better driver. I was originally going to do this as a top 5 video or a top 10 video, a series about how you can be a better driver, top tips. Unfortunately, I don't think that really does the topic justice. I'm going to give you the number 1 performance driving tip for the regular man that I've learned in my adult life of driving. Now, my entire adult life, every job I've ever had that's been any type of a success has involved driving. I started off working at a scout camp, driving very large trucks, and then I became a truck driver, driving very large trucks, and now I'm a police officer and have been for 12 years, driving what is essentially large family sedans at extraordinarily high speeds. As an example, 3 days ago, I was in a pursuit right up I-94 after someone that we thought was a kidnapping suspect. Luckily, everything turned out all right. But high-speed pursuits are something that I'm fairly accustomed to in my life, in my career, and having to do performance driving with normal cars is something that I come across constantly. Now, we can get into a lot of nitpicky stuff with performance driving. You could talk about gears in a manual transmission car and how to select the right gear to go around a corner so you keep traction on the road. We could talk about, with automatic transmission cars, traditional automatics, and how to get them into the right gear to do what you want the transmission to do. And we could talk about threshold braking, which is something that came around before ABS when I started driving. The thing is, though, most of that doesn't matter to your common person. Your common person is going to drive now, and more, they're driving a high-range transmission car, something that's got 6, 7, 8 gears, so the transmissions have gotten a lot better with picking the correct gear. Lots of people are driving CVTs now. CVTs select the proper gear ratio for you, so most people, they don't ever mess with what gear they're in, either through the gas pedal or through manual selection, whether that's from some sort of manumatic or a manual transmission car. Threshold braking isn't really that much of a thing anymore because ABS is almost universal on all cars that are on the road. But one thing has remained the same, and I think it's the thing that more trainees come to me in field training to be a police officer not knowing. And that is, you have to look where you want the car to go. Now, this is easy in your day-to-day driving. Everybody does it all day. They look straight ahead where the car has to go, and the good drivers, the really good drivers, are scanning around, looking at other stuff, looking in mirrors. We'll get into all of that later. But the first thing that people need to know so that they can not hit stuff when they're driving down the road is they need to look where they want the car to go, regardless of what else is going on when there's an emergency. So a kid jumps out into traffic, they need to look where they want the car to go, not at the kid that's jumping out into traffic. If a ball rolls out into traffic, they need to look at where they want the car to go, not where the ball is rolling out into traffic. They need to decide, when that ball rolls out, I need to stop by here, concentrate on that spot, and stop. If they're going to swerve around something, they need to look at where they're going to swerve at. If we look at the thing that we're trying to avoid, we're going to hit it. That's the way our brains work. That's the way our little monkey brains are designed to work, is to be threat-oriented. And that works against us when we're driving. Now, up ahead, I have a curvy stretch of road that I'm going to go down, and we're going to take a look at exactly what I mean when I say you need to look at where you're going. And curvy roads, especially curvy roads that are not in the best shape, are a great example of when we want to look where we want to go and not look at the threat that we have ahead of us. So I'm going to turn you around here. Now, as we drive down this road, we've got several things going on. One is that the road itself curves. The other is it's not in the best shape. You can see there's lots of potholes and cracks across the road, and there's varying speeds that people are going to want to go. This makes it a challenge for new drivers, and if you're trying to push the limits of how fast you're going to drive down this road. At 25 miles an hour, driving down a road like this is no big deal. You're well within the parameters of what the engineers for the road wanted you to be in, so when you see a big pothole, it's easy to move around them. You've got lots of time to think about it. However, when you're driving down this very fast, you have to think very fast, and the easiest way to avoid big holes in the road like that one is to look at where on the road you want the car to go instead of at the big pothole or the big crack in the middle of the road. There's a big sewer cover that's sticking up out of the roadway, and we can more easily make it down this path. Now, obviously, this isn't a closed course, so I'm not going to do this for you at 60 miles an hour. But you get the idea. You don't want to be looking at the pothole in the street, because if you're looking at the pothole in the street, you're going to hit it. And the same thing applies with kids or other cars that jump out into traffic. Coming off of a side street, let's say we're on a major thoroughfare like I'm on now, and somebody jumps out into traffic, they stick their nose out, and you have the time to swerve around them, which hopefully you will, and you've got that extra safety lane to your left. If you look at the car that's jumping out into the street, the likelihood that you're going to hit it is pretty good. If you look at the other lane of traffic and you focus on where you want the car to go, at least you'll miss that obstacle that's jumping out in front of you. It's kind of like front sight focus. We teach cops with pistols all the time. You want to have front sight focus. It's very hard for people to keep focus on that front sight. They want to keep focus on the threat. And that's our bodies working against us in the mechanical world that we live in. We're going to get more into performance driving for the common man. If you guys like this, please give it a thumbs up. Put your comments down below. If you have different experiences, we'd always love to hear about different experiences or other ideas for performance driving for the common man videos. I'm going to try to keep it so that it will be interesting to everyone, but of course I'm going to come to it from a law enforcement perspective, and I think that helps most people because I'm driving around Crown Vics, Ford Explorers, Ford Tauruses, normal cars. Till next week, you guys be safe and take care of each other. Hey, thanks for watching Free Field Training on YouTube. While you're here, why don't you go check out one of our other videos, or you can head over to the Patreon and see how you can get your name put on the videos like these fine folks listed over here. There's also some exclusive content on Patreon that just shows you kind of behind the scenes like you're seeing now. We'll see you guys next time.